káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì ẹ̀fọ́ abalẹ̀ fún dáadáa fídíò tó ń ṣú lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wa ṣì máa play fún yín. Ẹ wo inú fídíò tí ẹ̀ ń wò lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wa ó tún pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ẹ́ àṣírí tẹ́ máa ń gbà àṣírí pẹ́rẹ́pẹ́rẹ́ òun lọ́ tún nínú fídíò. Ẹ wò ẹ bá wa subscribe kẹ́ lè máa jẹ gbogbo ìgbádùn bó ṣe ń lọ ní agbo òṣèré. Ẹ wò láìfọ̀pá pọlọpọlọ péjọ. Ẹ wò fídíò náà rèé ẹ ká sojú abẹ́ ń kó.
State of emergency declares 3-day national mourning. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has called on the federal government to declare a state of emergency on security across the country amid escalating killings, kidnapping, terrorist attacks, and the destruction of communities. The call formed part of the resolution reached at the National Church Denominational Leaders Summit held at the National Christian Center, Abuja. Lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣá, gbogbo Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, both the southerner and the northerner, wọ́n had the meeting wọn ní ọjọ́ Tuesday yìí níjẹta ní Abuja. Wọ́n dẹ̀ wá fi ohùn ṣọ̀kan. Wọ́n sọ wípé ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ kí bàbá Tinubu kí wọ́n gbọ́ràn. Kí bàbá Tinubu kó ṣe kí ni kó declare a state of emergency for the situation tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nù Nigeria, especially lórí killing, the terrorists àti gbogbo kidnapping yìí. Wọ́n tún tẹ̀síwájú, wọ́n ní kì í ṣe pé kó declare state of emergency nìkan. Wọ́n ní the 3 days money. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ká ṣọ̀fọ̀. Kí Nàìjíríà kan wà nínú ìṣọ̀fọ̀ situation tó wà ńlẹ̀ fún ọjọ́ mẹ́ta. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí ọ̀fọ̀ báyìí èmi náà ní ṣọ̀fọ̀ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ṣùgbọ́n kí àlàyé mi kó lè yé ẹ ní ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́, jọ̀ọ́ tẹ̀lé mi wá gbọ́ fídíò yìí.
Yeah, I mean, so Shaun, there are lots of things in this question. Let's start with the ideology first. There is an ideological as well as logistical reason why Boko Haram started attacking schools. The first, let's remember that even the name Boko Haram means Western-styled education is forbidden in Islam, which is false. Now, Boko Haram, from the very beginning when they started their preaching in the early 2000s in Borno State, their first and major target when it comes to their violent rhetorics were schools. And then we saw them starting to attack schools. Even before the Chibok abduction, we saw dastardly attacks, gruesome attacks in places like Buniadi, where they killed 59 school children. They slaughtered 59 school children and burned some of them alive. And then we saw the Chibok kidnapping. And then we saw Dapchi, and then we saw other kidnappings, including the ones we saw in northwestern Nigeria, some of which are allied to Boko Haram, or in some of which Boko Haram was involved. So first is the ideology. But what Boko Haram also understood from the Chibok kidnapping in 2014 was that abducting school children can bring attention and can serve as a propaganda material for them. And of course, the Nigerian security forces have been saying, we are defeating Boko Haram, we have succeeded here, we have succeeded there, and there is some data showing that Boko Haram's fatality figures have fallen. What can they do to rile up sentiment? What can they do that can give them a propaganda material that will give them a golden ticket for propaganda? Attack an area of Nigeria that no one thought you can ever attack. And I think they did that for propaganda and also for them to demonstrate that they are still powerful and are able to penetrate areas we thought they may not be able to penetrate. So the second issue is propaganda. The third issue, Boko Haram also understood from the Chibok, the Dapchi, and other kidnappings they were involved in that they can make money out of school children, that they can force governments to negotiate with them, to pay them millions of dollars or pounds, as we saw in the Chibok kidnapping and other kidnappings in northeastern Nigeria. And also they saw that they can use school kidnappings to force governments to free their commanders who are in detention. That's what happened in the case of the Chibok. For example, in Chibok, credible reports say the Buhari administration paid about 3 million euros for the release of the 100 and something Chibok girls that were released. But also we know that 5 senior Boko Haram commanders were released from custody as part of the Chibok deal. And so making profit is another reason. But also let's remember that these groups are opportunistic. And the opportunity here is their ability to travel through the forest in the Kainji area into the old Oyo National Park and target a school there. Of course, it may not be unrelated to the fact that they think this is an area that people think is safe, and therefore there is no security presence as in other areas of Nigeria, and therefore they launch their attack there. The final
lérè kò kájáwé ó tún wá ránṣọ tó bá farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ àlàyé nọ́dẹ́nà yìí wàá rí wípé the same weapon tí wọ́n lò tactic tí wọ́n lò ní ìgbà ayé Jonathan òun ni wọ́n lò fún Tinubu lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. It's not a new thing. It is not new anymore. Okay, ṣó fẹ́ sọ fún mi sí wípé gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ yẹn tó wà nínú igbó, àwọn Sultan Caliphate, El-Rufai Caliphate, Matawale Caliphate, Gumi Caliphate, Northern Caliphate headed by Sultan of Sokoto, wọn wà wíẹ̀ wọn ò mọ̀ sí gbogbo wọn náà jọ plan ẹ̀. Ọmọ ìyá mi wá kó ọmọ kúlẹ̀kúlẹ̀ nǹkan gan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá like láti gbọ́ òtítọ́ gbogbo kíní ilẹ̀ tí gbọ́ máa tún ti repeat ẹ̀ kẹ́ má bàa gbàgbé ni ká yóò fi ẹ̀tẹ̀ sílẹ̀ máa pa làpálàpá. Ní ìgbà ayé Jonathan regime kí ni àwọn Sultan Caliphate kí ni wọ́n ṣe? The same thing tó ń ṣe fún bàbá Tinubu náà ṣe fún Jonathan. Any head of state president tó bá ti débẹ̀ àwọn Sultan Caliphate àwọn Northern Caliphate yìí àwọn ni wọ́n rúùlù Nigeria tó believe pé Nigeria belongs to them. Àwọn ni wọ́n promote sharia tí wọ́n fẹ́ force sharia forcefully sí gbogbo Nigerians. Àwọn náà wà brain behind pẹ̀lú the support of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia mọ̀ wọ́n kó highest grade nínú gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ terrorism tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú Nigeria, believe you and me. Ẹ lè máa mówó Nigeria kẹ́ máa lọ Mẹ́kà kẹ́ lọ máa gbàdúrà ńbẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ sọ òtítọ́ tó wà ńbẹ̀ tí gbogbo àgbáyé dẹ̀ mọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n they have their way of playing their game. Wọ́n sún sẹ́yìn irú Gumi tí wọ́n lé kúrò Saudi Arabia yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ lé wípé káwọn èèyàn kíyà ayé kọ́ má lè fojú sí wọn lára wípé kinní kan bọ̀ mo fẹ́ kó mọ̀ wípé gbogbo terrorism tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú Nigeria kò ṣẹ̀yìn àwọn ará Saudi. Yes, they want to Islamize Nigeria by fire by thunder. Wọ́n ò dẹ̀ kọ́ how long tó máa take, wọ́n ò dẹ̀ kọ́ iye owó tó bá máa ná or anything. Headed by Sultan of Sokoto, show them wípé àrọ́mọ bàbá Sultan of Sokoto ní Usman Dan Fodio tó lóun ti conquer Nigeria ní northern part ní ayé ìgbà yẹn tó ti practice jihad tó náwọn ti conquer Nigeria pé territory wọn ni. So àrọ́mọdọ́mọ Usman Dan Fodio ní Sultan of Sokoto iṣẹ́ tí bàbá ẹ̀ ṣe kò ló náà continue. Ọmọ tí ìyẹn náà bá bí èèyàn tó máa take over lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ tó máa continue ká lè mọ̀ wípé ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí ó máa long gan. Má jẹ́ kí wèrè kan bọ́ sọ́n láì kó máa fún ẹ ní fake news ẹ kú oríire àti gbà àti mọ̀ àti ṣe ìkéde kan ìròyìn ayọ̀ kan. My dear, kò sí kan tó jẹ́ ìròyìn ayọ̀ kankan bí kankan tẹ́ ẹ tí ẹ̀bẹ̀lẹ̀ jẹ́. Tó o bá gbọ́ àlàyé máa ìwárí wípé ní ìgbà ayé Jonathan ìgbà tí àwọn Sultan Caliphate wọ́n ti máa ń kọ list bí ìjọba new president tó ń bọ̀ bó ṣe máa ṣèjọba ẹ̀. Wọ́n á ti kọ sílẹ̀ pé nǹkan yẹn protocol yẹn ló ní láti tẹ̀lé. Tó bá dé wo protocol yẹn tó máa tẹ̀lé tá fi rúùlù Nigeria, it is Sharia. Sharia law complete one ni wọ́n fi rúùlù wa. Ilé ayé wa dàbí ti àwọn ti Iran. Àwọn yẹn àwọn head of state ti south wọn ò lè ṣe, even ti north gan ò lè ṣe. Àwọn gan bẹ̀rù. Wọn ò lè ṣe completely, ẹ̀rù bá wọn. Jonathan ò fẹ́ gbà fún wọn. Wọ́n wá wò pé kí náà máa ṣe. Orí tí wọ́n dá àwọn boys òun náà ṣe pé àwọn terrorists ní kọ́ má fọwọ́ kàn wọn àwọn ní freedom fighter wọn. Kí ni ogun tí wọ́n jà tán ṣe ní di freedom fighter? Wọ́n ogun àwọn náà fẹ́ gbé ogun sí wa lọ́rùn, ogun tó fi ń jà wá nísìn. Òun náà ní di terrorist yẹn fún head of state gbogbo president tó bá ti jẹ òun náà create terrorism fún tó ṣe kó gbogbo àwọn terrorist jọ láti máa hàn wọ́n léèmọ̀ tó bá ti kọ̀ láti má lo sharia fully láti fi govern Nigeria. Wọ́n kó àwọn Chibok girls díẹ̀ ní eléni àìmọye lára àwọn Chibok girls ló ti di ìyàwó terrorist tán ti ń bímọ fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ tí wọ́n padà jáde mọ́. Okay, oríire náà báyìí nísìn ó ti rí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Gbogbo kíní yẹn tó bá ti wá rí wípé president yẹn kò fàyè gbà wọn kò gbọ́ọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn lẹ́nu. Ṣé wá ti ẹ̀rẹ́lẹ̀ tí bàbá Tinubu ṣe tán stop subsidy gbogbo ọ̀nà tí àwọn Sultan Caliphate àwọn ni wọ́n kó owó subsidy kò sọ́mọ Nàìjíríà àwa Southern kankan tó jẹ́ náà àwọn Northern Caliphate ni wọ́n pín owó subsidy and so many other money tí wọ́n fi ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà tó fi ní north tó ń pín. Àwọn ni tó bá wá rí situation tó ṣẹlẹ̀ mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo àwa south ká gbọ́n mọ́ Tinubu wa káyé ṣọ̀tẹ̀ta láìkì jù ọ̀tẹ́ ti bá ti wá jẹ́. Mi ò ní kẹ́ má pé Tinubu, ṣé Tinubu nìkan lógun tó wà nílẹ̀? Ó ń bá wọn pò ń bẹ̀, wọ́n ń bá jagun ni. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń bá wọn pò kò tẹ́ wọn lọ́rùn, kò ṣèfẹ́ inú wọn. òun ni gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe yìí tó bá ti need attention president tó wà ń bẹ̀ láti make ìjọba unbearable wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé kò sí irúbí kan tó ṣe ní oríire government local government ṣe máa ṣẹlẹ̀ aráàlú ò ní fararọ wọ́n á máa gbé ṣépè ìlú á máa gbóná lalala bó ṣe ń ṣe yìí nǹkan tó ń fẹ́ nìyẹn attention government àti propaganda òun ni wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe. èmi personally mo mọ̀ ìwọ náà dẹ̀ sì mọ̀ o ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín lẹ̀dẹ̀ mọ́ kinní yìí o ṣùgbọ́n ẹ kàn jẹ́ wípé ọ̀tẹ̀ ti jẹ yín ní fún àtẹ̀dọ̀ ni o. bàbá ṣe ń kó fún Tinubu kí ló dé tá à ń yọ Mákindé sẹ́yìn and the rest of the governor kí ló dé tá à ń yọ senator and minister ṣebí nísìnyí ìgbà tó dójú ẹ̀ ṣebí ẹ rí gbogbo àwọn house of rep wa nínú house ṣebí ẹ rí wọn tó wá sọ̀rọ̀ fatafata tó sọ̀rọ̀ lálálálálá mo wá káwọ́ máyà bẹ́ẹ̀ mo wá wò wípé ibo ni gbogbo yín wà láti yọ ọdún tá a ti pariwo ọ̀rọ̀ security yìí ìbàjẹ́ wípé báwa ṣe pariwo lẹ́yìn náà ń jẹ́ lẹ́nu tẹ́ ẹ̀ pariwo bẹ́ẹ̀ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbáradì kíkì ní ìmá ṣẹlẹ̀ ikọ́ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ìbéyè ìbá má ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀yin asọ̀fẹ́ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ gbogbo yín ti ya odi for so many years back ní gbogbo ìgbà tó yẹ kẹdún you see your life ibẹ̀ ni kọ́kọ́ la tún yìí lọ ó mọ̀ náà tẹ̀lé mi wá wo fídíò.
There is a building in Abuja that most Nigerians have never heard of. It is not a government ministry. It is not a federal agency. It was not built with Nigerian taxpayers' money. It does not answer to the National Assembly, and no Nigerian official has ever been required to account for what happens inside. It was funded by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and its purpose, stated plainly in its founding documents, is to propagate a specific interpretation of Islamic law across sub-Saharan Africa. That building is not unique. There are hundreds like it across northern Nigeria. Mosques, madrasas, Islamic centers, scholarship programs, judicial training institutes, a physical and institutional infrastructure that has been quietly, consistently, and deliberately constructed across Nigeria's 12 Sharia states over 4 decades. Funded from Riyadh, staffed with foreign-trained scholars, teaching a theological framework that did not originate in northern Nigeria, was not historically native to it, and arrived with an agenda that had nothing to do with the welfare of Nigerian Muslims it claimed to serve. And in 1999, when 12 Nigerian governors stood up and announced that they were replacing their state's criminal justice systems with Islamic law, the infrastructure to make that announcement mean something was already in place. The scholars were already trained, the courts were already designed, the curriculum was already written, the Hizbah model was already theorized. Saudi Arabia did not cause the 1999 Sharia expansion, but without what Saudi Arabia built in the 2 decades before it, the 1999 expansion could not have happened at the scale and speed that it did. Here is the question this investigation is going to answer. When a foreign government spends decades and billions of dollars building religious and legal infrastructure inside another sovereign nation, infrastructure that ultimately reshapes that nation's laws, radicalizes a generation of its youth, and feeds the ideological pipeline of an insurgency that has killed tens of thousands of its citizens, what do we call that? And why has the Nigerian government across 6 administrations and 25 years never once formally asked Saudi Arabia to answer for it?
Ìwọ tó jẹ́ Mùsùlùmí, ó wà wí ẹ̀ nípa nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ story. Wọ́n jẹ́ kó yé wa wípé àwọn Saudi Arabia sórí àwọn gigantic building yẹn wọ́n ló pọ̀ ní northern part of Nigeria is about 100. Àwọn biggest building yìí Saudi Arabia ni wọ́n ṣe kíni ni wọ́n build ẹ̀ láìsí owó Nigeria government níbẹ̀. Nǹkan gan tí wọ́n practice ní inú àwọn building yìí wọ́n ní kò sí government officials àbọ̀mọ Nigeria kankan tó ń wọbẹ̀ tó mọ̀ nǹkan tó bọ́dà láti wò pé kí náà practice inú bẹ̀. Ṣé o lísì sí gbogbo ọ̀nà tí Saudi Arabia tí wọ́n fi fẹ́ Islamize Nigeria? Saudi Arabia kó 90% inú àwọn Islamic country tó fẹ́ sọ Nigeria di Mùsùlùmí country. Tó bá sọ wípé kí gbogbo wa jẹ́ Mùsùlùmí, it's not a problem on a good day. Ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo àwọn country tó ti rí tó ti jẹ́ wípé Islamic country ibo ló ti rí tán ti ní àlàáfíà bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ò ń ṣe pé ogun náà fi gbogbo ọjọ́ wọn jà. Àwọn ọmọbìnrin wọ́n gba ayé wọn lọ́wọ́ wọn kò wáyé lé ayé ṣá. Ṣọ́kùnrin wọn náà wá gbádùn nítorí olójú nǹkan táwọn ọkùnrin gan ẹ̀yìn ọkùnrin tẹ́kọ̀ọ́ múra kankan tẹ́rọ wípé tán bá Islamize Nàìjíríà ayé bọ́sọ́wọ́ yín ẹ̀ máa lo àwọn obìnrin àtàwọn ọmọ àdàbí ẹrú. Ṣé wọ́n fún yín náà ní full custody ayé ara yín ni torí olójú nǹkan tẹ́yìn ọkùnrin náà lè ṣe nínú Sharia country. Ẹ̀yin go free ẹ ní freedom of speech, ẹ ní àlàáfíà kan lọ títí, kò sí nǹkan ìgbésí ayé rere kan fẹ́yìn ọkùnrin náà. Àwọn nìkan